Hello and welcome to Tuesday Night TerrorVision episode number 37. I know it's dress down night for me. I've been dressed up more than this, but it was a long day today. Okay, I'm still in the workout clothes. It was a long day today, but thank you all for being here. I am joined by two wonderful, amazing human beings. One of them being, that's Mrs. Co-host to you. It's Trina from Where Real Horror.
That's me. Yeah, happy to be here. Looking forward to getting into this movie. And it's awesome to be joined by monoTony tonight.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. You see, I switch it up, I adapt. I didn't say Monday, I didn't say Saturday. No Wednesday, I said Tuesday. No, it's good to be here. Thank you guys for having me. I'm looking forward to this movie. You know, it kind of randomly popped into my head a couple weeks ago when I had asked Etep if he had seen it, and yeah, surprisingly, the man who's seen everything never saw this wonderful title. So I'm looking forward to really dissecting it, breaking it down.
I had never seen this one. No. And I was just as excited. I was like, okay, cool, something I haven't seen. And when he said Ghost in the Machine, I'm like, wait, does he mean Ghost in the Shell? You know?
Which is funny because every time I've heard that anime, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think of Ghost in the Machine because I've never seen like Ghost in the Shell or anything. But I see that and my mind automatically goes to this movie.
Yeah, it's a good, it's a fun, like the way I looked at it, this was more, and Trina brought it up, more science fiction than horror.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. You know, it had a little bit of horror, but it was, I don't know. I don't, go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, like microwaving the dude.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
The death scenes were fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They were fantastic.
Yeah. So something else with this movie too. Okay, so this came out in 1993.
Yes.
Yeah.
And The Lawnmower Man, what year did that come out? 92. So I've always kind of correlated those two movies as well, because by the end of The Lawnmower Man, Job's like in the computer or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. It's just they've always kind of, it's almost like Deep Impact and Armageddon, you know, just two similar movies. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And another one that I was thinking of, I was actually mentioning it to Etep. Another one that came out a couple years after this one was Virtuosity. It had Denzel Washington in it. That when it came out, I think it was in 95 or 96. I can't remember exactly. But it had the same kind of thing where, you know, you're in the machine type thing. So it was a theme like in these few years.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
I'm about to sneeze, I think. Hang on.
No, it was almost like they were excited for the upcoming technology, like kind of how we're at now. And I won't say excited, there's a lot of trepidation, but we know we're on the verge of some kind of big change with AI. But that's kind of where they were. Like, even in Ghost in the Machine, like the kid gets an email, but it's a chat room or almost like a messenger. Yeah, like we were right there. We're starting to learn these terms, but we still didn't quite know what they were or what was possible with the technology.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. And we were talking about different movies. Manliness brought this up, that movies that are kind of like similar to each other that were, releases. Abyss, Deep Star 6, and Leviathan. I've seen. I'm pretty sure I've seen all those. Maybe not Deep Star 6. I know I've seen Leviathan and the Abyss. I just saw Leviathan the other night when Nia Jax was on. Oh, there we go. There's a wrestling reference for Trina. Shit, my phone's lighting up already. God damn it, Trina. She hasn't lost her touch, folks. She has not lost her touch. But before we get too deep into this, Hail everybody in the chat. Adega, Bone, Manliness, Godzillionaire. I did say Ghost in the Shell the other day in the video. I was stoned and confused.
Fucking weeb.
I fucking weeb. God damn it. Tony watched my video today because I was making fun of this guy. I was like, this guy's definitely an anime fan. Yeah, he's a weeb. He's a weeb. CB, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Hail. Adam, super fan Adam Schwarken. Schwarken is there. So let's see here. All right. So before we get into the movie, we have a title card to play here. Let's see. Wait, where's it at? I have a title card. I swear to you. Here it is, right here. And I love the aesthetic of that. Like, I absolutely love the aesthetic of that intro. That, like I said, this is one of those, it's still the early 90s. The internet is not like completely widespread yet. It's getting there, but it's still not, like, I don't think we had it was like 1996, I think, when we got our first like dial-up modem in our house. But I lived out in the middle of bumfucking Egypt, like I lived out in the country. So,
well, that was still way before I was on the internet.
Yeah, we got ours in 96. And
my first internet I got in late 99 or 2000, and it was web TV.
Oh my God, I remember web TV.
I remember web TV.
And everyone's like, yeah, it's got a browser on it, but you can't download. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is download?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I remember those commercials. I remember those commercials before I was on the internet, and I was like, Ma, this looks cool. We should get this. It's like, because we didn't have we didn't have computers and not anything in our house like that. And I was like, this looks cool. We should do this. We can have the internet. Boy, we've come a long way.
Now we just carry it around, computers around in our pockets.
Yeah.
And the teachers, like my math teachers in school, who always told me you'll never have a calculator available all the time to you. Liar. Now, when my son needs help with his math homework and I don't know how to do it, I use AI. I'm like, ooh, man, I wish I had this in 1986. Shit. So Ghost in the Machine was released in theaters on December 31st, 1993. Fucking New Year's Eve was the earliest release date for this one. Its domestic opening was 1.8 million. How much do you think this made worldwide?
300,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea.
This one made worldwide $5,086,909.
Wow.
It was only released domestically.
Okay, so what was the budget for it?
I am looking that up right now. That is the one thing I didn't pull up. Let's see. Ghost in
those effects couldn't have been cheap back then.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It had a $12 million budget.
Oh. Oh man.
The sad part is that you can't even really classify this as a cult classic, or if it is, it's a very, very minimal cult. But it's not a bad movie at all. It's just it kind of went forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear much about this movie. Like when you brought it up, Tone, I was like, I'd never seen it. I'm like, what? I automatically think, did you mean Ghost in the Shell? Like, that's not really horror, What up, Digsby? Good to see you. Good to see you. So it lost $7 million fucking dollars.
Which that was a lot more back then.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a $12 million budget only made $5 million. So Rotten Tomatoes has this right now at a critics 10%, and the audience popcorn meter is at 24%. So not much love for Karen Allen, Chris Mulkey, and Ted Marcoux. Not much love for him at all. Karen Allen, I just kept waiting for her to call Mulkey's character. What's his name? The leading man, the hacker guy. I can't remember his name, but
the actor name I can't remember, but his character name is Bram.
Bram. I kept waiting for her to call Bram Lumpy, like she called Bill Murray in Scrooged.
Real quick, can I just say $7 million in 1993 is equivalent to $15,388,907.
Wow.
So that one took a big L.
Oof, that is so awful.
Yeah, that took a big L in the finance department. Like, just damn. That's fucking harsh. That is harsh.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Look at when it was released. Like that is a tough release. You're talking New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is a 20th Century Fox movie. Let's see.
But theaters had more power back then. Like more people. I know it's New Year's Eve still, but I mean, going to the movies was a bigger deal back then too. So
yeah, that's where I saw this movie.
So this what's her name? Rachel Talali, that directed this. She also directed Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare and Tank Girl. Those are her biggest credits, I would say.
I've never seen Tank Girl, but obviously I've seen Freddy's Dead.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw Tank Girl once right when it hit like VHS. Like my sister rented it, I believe, when we watched it, but I've never been like huge on Lori Petty anyway, but I just remember that. See, speaking of correlating movies, Tank Girl and In the Army Now with Pauly Shore and Andy Dick, I believe, those came out at a similar time too. So whenever I'm thinking, like if I try to remember that movie, I'm getting the scenes crossed. Like, was that Lori Petty or Pauly Shore?
I never seen Tank Girl either. I have never seen that movie. I've seen Machine Gun Girl, which that's a whole other story.
I assure you both, you'll go on to live fulfilled lives without seeing Tank Girl.
Godzillionaire asked a good question. Do you think Ghost in the Machine was released on New Year's Eve for tax write-off purposes? Probably. You got to figure they had to know that this movie was not going to do well financially, you know the effects had to eat up most of that budget.
Yeah,
because the locations I'd say this was probably mostly a soundstage outside of a few shots. But I don't know. The effects, like Tony said, the effects were pretty good for the time, and especially. I mean, $12 million for a movie like that's a pretty substantial budget for 1993.
Yeah, that's huge.
And it's a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So theatrical release, it lost $7 million. Damn. I don't see this one developing as like a cult classic though. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a bad movie. But I don't know if this is one that has the legs to develop that kind of following, you know?
It should, though. It's good. I won't say like it's cinema, but it's not a bad flick.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun, just kind of shut off your brain, pop some popcorn, and watch with the girl kind of flick, you know?
Yeah.
So it starts. I like how we start out. It's going back and forth between like our killer, and he pulls up in front of that. At first I was like, damn, is this the Home Alone house? Like, that house is fucking big.
Right.
Like, that house was big, and it's cutting back and forth between like the dad and the kid. What's the kid's name? He looks like, when he's sitting there at the beginning of the movie, he looks like Woody Harrelson from White Men Can't Jump with his goofy outfit on when he's trying to hustle playing basketball.
I think his name was Josh.
Josh, yeah.
His dad looks like Dean fucking Ambrose from WWE back in the day. That's what he looks like. He looks like, Jesus Christ, I can't unsee it now. I'm just waiting for, like, I'm one of the Death Riders. Sorry, Trina. But no, this, like, at first I thought the kid's dad was dead. I'm like, no, this is his dad. Okay, so he's not dead. And then you got Karen Allen's the mom in this. And this kid is just, he's borderline annoying, but like Tony pointed out, like, he's an early 90s kid. Like, this is very an early 90s kid. He was he wasn't terrible. I'll give him that. Like, as young actors come and go, this one was not terrible. What's his name?
The kid who played him, that was Will Horneff, which I know we've seen him in other movies. I guess I should check his credits. I know I've seen the kid elsewhere. Oh,
the Sandlot.
Sandlot, yeah.
Yep. And he was in The Yearling, about a baby deer. Fuck, he was in an episode of House, too. Huh.
My problem with House is when, like, you try to binge watch it, every episode is the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it has a formula.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do love it, though.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I watched, because the wife watched it. I don't know. It was okay. I like Hugh Laurie, you know, like I said, it was okay, but
it's a show you can't binge. You just have to catch an episode, you know, once a week or something, and it'll be fine. But when you try to go through it, like modern day viewing, it's like, again, it's not even bad. It's just like, okay, here comes another twist halfway through the episode. They're sure it's this, but then 45 minutes passed, something else happens, and it's just, again, like trying to say, there's a formula that they really went with every episode.
So I like how so this movie has a really good start. How like we see a guy pull up to this house in his car, and he's crossing. You see him crossing names off of a address book, and then it cuts from that. Like, that's how you see it. He pulls up to this house, and he's got other names crossed off this address book, and then he's at this address, you know, on the address book, and then it cuts from that, and then you see Josh, the kid, the main kid in the movie. He's like sitting on the bench in like a school gymnasium, and then he, you know, like he's not playing. Like, there's a basketball thing going on, but he's not playing, and he ends up like pulling this like lottery ticket scam on his coach. And then so
that was funny.
Yeah, like he pretends that he won this ticket, and he has his friend in on it. So like he takes the coach or the coach takes him to a payphone, and the coach like calls and he's like, is this a legit ticket? And his friend, whose name Faze, is on the other line. He's using this device that disguises his voice and makes it sound like an older woman, and he's like, oh yes, this is legit, all you have to do is take the ticket to this and this place, and so the coach guy hands him $50, and then Josh is like, it's been really hard since my mom passed away and stuff like that. And just as he's saying that, his mom pulls up and she goes, Josh, and he's like, oh, hi, Mom. And then he doesn't get the money out of it. The beginning of this is great. And then right after you like they're driving home and everything like that. And then at their house, we see a family. So it's like later that night, we see a family watching TV. Well, we see them from behind, and then like kind of the camera pans around, and then we see that they've been murdered, but the TV is on, and then we see the killer like loading the trunk with like his weapons and photo albums and stuff like that. And I thought I really liked that. I liked that opening.
What was cool was the establishing shot when it was panning through the house.
Yep.
And you see the baseball glove and the apple pie and the dinner table set.
Yep.
And then, you go into the living room and they're just all in there fucking dead.
Yeah.
And it was a small touch, but what I liked too was after that shot, it goes out to the killer's car and he's like in his trunk putting all of his tools up. There's all kinds of crazy shit in his trunk, but when he's crossing their names out in the address book, he uses a ruler because it's important to him that there are straight lines crossing them out. Again, it's small. I just think that like played well into his psychopathy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of serial killers or psychopaths in general do have like that OCD type thing.
Oh yeah.
So this started off like I really liked the idea of he's referred to later on in the news as the address book killer, and I feel like that could be a whole separate character. Like even outside of this movie, you could have a slasher movie be the address book killer, like even before he like enters the machine, if you will.
Yeah.
But I liked that. And another good part of this movie was how we see a lot of the technology that we, like early millennial and Gen X, we grew up being introduced to, was like those scanner things. That we see, like for documents.
Yes. Yep. She bought her boss that as Karen Allen's character bought that for her boss as a gift because he's what did she say, an uptight asshole or something like that, or something like that. Anal. He's anal.
Yeah.
And the guy, and this is where we meet the character who would go on to be the killer, working in this like computer shop, and because the kid Josh goes over and goes to touch something that he's working on, and Karen Allen leaves her address book in the store when she buys this scanner for her boss. And it was really fucking weird. Like the guy like latched onto his hand, and then she sees him sitting there kind of like licking his lips.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, like, is he a killer or a pet? Never mind.
Yeah, he's very creepy. Yeah. And that was good establishing like like who this dude is, and you recognize him, you recognize him as he's sitting there, he's the guy from from the beginning.
Yep.
When he pulls up at the house. So yeah. And then yeah, he's like, Mom, I'm gonna go sit in the car, and then she finishes up, and yeah, like you said, she forgets her address book. And then we're at this place called DataNet, and this is where we meet the main male character, Bram Walker. He's starting his brand new job there, and he comes in, it's been pouring, and he has like a convertible, but the top doesn't work, so his car is soaked and he's soaked, and him and his new boss, they don't get off on the right foot.
His boss is played by the late great Rick Ducommun, who was a freaking hilarious comedian, and one of my favorite roles of his is in a movie that we did a watch party for, and it's almost horror. I think it's horror adjacent. We could almost cover it here. The Burbs.
Oh yeah.
Which
yeah,
I love that movie.
That's like thriller comedy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Bruce Dern, Rick Ducommun, Corey Feldman.
Yep.
Never seen it.
I've
heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Dude, I wore that VHS out as a kid. Rick Ducommun was, and he was great in Little Monsters with Fred Savage. That's another freaking just great, like young adult, like type movie that you watch it now and you're like, man, this has heart. Like that was a fun movie.
Yeah.
But so anyway, he goes to his new job, and it's they're doing like mailers.
Yeah, they do the junk mail things. Yeah. And he said, what did he say about like this pisses more people off than Howard Stern?
Yeah.
Back when Howard Stern was fun to listen to.
Yeah. Before he went. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
And then we went back to the computer shop, and our killer here now has Karen Allen's address book, and the boss sees him, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, she left this here." He goes, "I'm going to take it back."
He was smelling her address.
Yeah,
Yes.
He's sniffing it.
Yeah.
And, very creepy.
I shouldn't no-sell that. Yeah, he was smelling it, which is definitely serial killer type shit.
Yep.
So he's going to take it back. He's like, "Boy, I'm lucky to have somebody like you." It's like, oof.
I know.
Which
has no clue. But that's so like that fits, because what do we always hear when like someone does something atrocious? Everyone around them is like, I had no idea, he was always so good, and like all that stuff. Yeah. Or he was always so quiet or something like that.
Yeah, but, just a quiet guy.
Yeah. He kept to himself. He never made any like trouble or anything.
Was the mom was Jessica, the actress Jessica Walter. I swear to God, the first time I saw her on screen, I'm like, is that the fucking chick from The Room that played Tommy Wiseau's girlfriend's mom?
I didn't I recognize her, but I didn't place her anywhere.
I'm looking to see if she was in The Room right now. I doubt it was her, but let's see. No, she wasn't. Okay. She played Mrs. Epstein in My Best Friend's Wife.
Oh my God.
But she's kind of overbearing, and she's talking to her about oh God, didn't she say something about her needing a man?
She's a roundabout saying that she needs a man.
Yeah, she's kind of beating around the bush. And it's so funny too, because while this is going on, fucking Crazy is in his car, like speeding through a rainstorm, just driving like a bat out of hell. And he's like going the wrong way. I'm like, Jesus, he's really in a hurry to murder them.
Yeah.
And this is the thing to me. If he just got this address book, like he just has the address book now. Yeah, fucking, she was in Indiana Jones too. Jesus, how do I know sell that? I forgot about that. How do I know sell that? But he's like driving like a bat out of hell to her house, and it's like he's a serial killer. He's gonna take more time to plan this out. He's not a spree killer. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You know, because he's got to learn the patterns. When's the family home?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then he goes crashing into that fucking graveyard.
Oh yeah, oh my god, that looked so funny. So yeah, okay, first of all, I need to ask, one of the truck drivers, did it look like Adrian
Barbeau?
Yeah.
It
did. But I didn't see her credited in this, so I didn't know if that was her.
I'm looking right now through the IMDb. Is there any? Let's see. Does it show any uncredited roles? Doesn't. Huh. The only uncredited is Sherry Chettier Brock, Lady in Black. I'm looking for truck driver. Mickey the driver. Would that be it? But that was Mickey Gilbert.
I don't know. This was definitely a female. It looked exactly like Adrian Barbeau.
Yeah. Barbeau, yeah. It did. I know who you're talking about because that was when he almost hit head on. The semi driver.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. He ends up flipping the car over, and I love how when the car flips over, it just keeps on going on its roof, upside down. It just keeps sliding forever.
It's sliding and plowing over fucking headstones.
Yeah.
And then it comes to a halt. Yeah. Then they go and they're going to put him in the MRI machine.
Mm-hmm.
And put him in the MRI machine. And this is when we get our big, what are they doing? They're firing off, we get that big power surge.
Yeah. Cause there's it's raining. There's a storm going on. So there's some kind of there's an electrical surge that happens, and then it affects the power grid to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. And our boy gets cooked in the machine.
Yeah, he flatlines and he becomes one with the machine, and so that's all I want to say. I don't want to jump too far ahead and give it away, but and then what we see next is that I really actually like the cinematography with the special effects or whatever you want to call it, how that happens, because when that surge happens and he flatlines and everything, and then it kind of fades out, and it we see him enter the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That looked cool the way that they did that.
It was presented well.
Yeah. And we see his his scanned face from the MRI on the computers back at DataNet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it has disappeared from the computers at the hospital, but he's on the computers at DataNet. So it's I like how they did that. It's cool how now he's in the ether world.
Yep. I love how they show the internet and how he travels.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Tron.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
That's what
it's almost like he's in the internet and the power grid.
Yeah.
He's able to go through AC adapters and.
Yep.
This kind of borrowed from Shocker a little bit.
Yeah, that's another one. Shocker. Shocker and what was the first one you mentioned? Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can
we had a fast. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just society at the time had a fascination again with the technology that we didn't really understand yet or what it was capable of. So, I mean, it probably made creative minds just flourish with ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking. Watching this this kind of retrospective review, I'm thinking I was thinking like, how we didn't really know how things worked. I mean, yeah, the scientists and all that stuff, and computer scientists, they knew about stuff like that, but we didn't really know the technology and what the capabilities were. And so they they had a lot of imagination to run on. Yeah, I liked that.
I don't want to no-sell the fact that Tommy's here. What's up, Tommy? Good to see you, brother.
Hi, Tommy.
Also, Josh, Mr. Yo MTV Raps, how he pulls his boxers out, sags his pants, and tucks his shirt into his boxers to go out and impress the older babysitter girl who is moving garbage and recyclables around out there. He's like, this for sure will get her. It's like, settle down, Malibu's Most Wanted.
I know.
It's fucking fantastic. Like,
yeah. And he's a little like, well, we used to call when I was a kid, we used to call him wiggers.
Yep.
And and like he actually was doing that earlier, like when Terry's the grandmother was over, and he's upstairs, like she's like talking about how the father's not there, and Terry's like, he's fine, and then you hear the song that he's listening to, and it just calls out the N-word. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Because I've had the closed captioning on, and then it actually came up on the screen. I was like, really? I was laughing at that. I forgot all about that. And it's Don't Call Me N Whitey, and it's like, oh my god. And the grandmother's like, yeah, I can tell he's all right.
He's doing fine. The boy's fine.
He's fine.
He's fine. We're all fine. How are you? Yeah, he's trying to impress her and shit. And I love. At one point, the girl is later on watching In Living Color, which is even better. I'm like, I wonder how they snuck that in there.
Yep.
But yeah, he's trying to ask her out, and
his mom, he's macking on her.
He's macking. He's spitting game, or as now the kids say, he's rizzing her up.
Rizzing is the new one.
He's trying to riz on. I don't think she's a level 10 Giat though. I don't. She's not. She's not packing enough. She's not packing enough in the wagon area to be a level 10 Giat. She's rather thin.
Well, I don't know. In the 90s, that was the beauty standard. We didn't have the dump trucks and everything like that. I feel like asses have evolved since then.
Asses, they've evolved. They've become sentient. My God.
But yeah, he goes, he uses the line, was your dad a thief? Because he took all the stars from heaven and put them in your eyes.
She no-sold the shit out of that.
Yeah, she's
like, whatever.
She's just looking at him, and then his mom comes out and kisses him, and she's like, aw.
He's like, Mom. Oh, God. Yeah, I was like, my first impression when I saw that girl was, did the Weinsteins have something to do with this movie? This poor girl. No, it was not.
Yes, it was the babysitting scene.
It was not a Miramax production, thank God. So old Joshy boy gets cock blocked there, and then we're back to the store here, and we see. I love because like the computer turns on, and dude is looking through the records. He's trying to get his way into the network. He's looking for the records because he knew that her address book was scanned in when he was demonstrating how that system worked. So this is how he latches on to her. And I think one of the first things we saw when it started to hit her was she was at the ATM and she was trying to, she got a bunch of shit charged to her.
Yeah. He sent a bunch of lingerie to her work.
Yep. And there was a bunch of notes and shit on it.
Yeah, like what was one of the notes? I think I wrote it. I'd kill to see you in these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I bet you would. Crazy. Settle down. But yeah. So she's pissed. And then the boss is being all creepy about it.
Mhm.
Like, he's the 90s. It was a much different time. HR would have been all over that.
Yeah. Yeah.
HR would have been all over that. Damn it, human resources. You've ruined everything. We used to be able to do. Never mind.
That's when PC kicked in, was 90s.
Yep.
Yeah.
It started to slowly permeate its way in.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my first brush in with human resources was in 99, but that's a Patreon story. Yeah.
And that's when the TV, because there's like, she has a cubicle for like an office, and
Yep.
and that's when like she has a little TV there, and it comes on, or it's on or something like that, and we see Carl's face on the TV, that Carl is the killer, and the news reports that about the address book killer, and that how it's him, and that the authorities have been hunting him for the last 3 years. And I like how they worked that in there, that like it was like kind of subtle. Yeah.
Creative exposition.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty good for a movie like this, to have the wherewithal to put something like that subtle in, you know. You wouldn't think, because it's a pretty straightforward kind of movie, and I don't know, some of the lower end stuff like that, they just don't pay attention to the details like that, and they did with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel bad for Karen Allen. What a bomb of a movie. But
I know.
She was good in it, though. That was the thing. Like, I didn't really think she was like, I don't know. She wasn't, I don't know. Was she too boilerplate? I mean, I don't think so. It was, I don't know.
I need to see what else was in the theater when this was out, because, I mean, that is pretty low.
Yeah.
I mean, there had to have been something siphoning off ticket sales, because even when I was, like, I remember when this came out, like, me and my buddy were excited. Like, you know, kids our age were excited for this movie. At least I thought. Like,
let's see.
You said it came out December 31st, 93?
Yes, December 31st, 1993 was the release for it. I was kind of wondering, like, what else came out. I mean, that's, you're really trying to bury a movie if you release it on New Year's Eve.
Okay. This is what domestic box office for December 1993. Number 1 was Mrs. Doubtfire. The Pelican Brief, Wayne's World 2, Sister Act 2, Beethoven 2nd, A Perfect World, Tombstone, Addams Family Value, The Three Musketeers, Carlito's Way, Geronimo, An American Legend, Grumpy Old Men. It's just, even Nightmare Before Christmas is down there. Like, that's a shit ton of, like, memorable movies.
Mrs. Doubtfire and Tombstone alone, dude.
Yeah, all of them.
I saw Mrs. Doubtfire in the theater. I remember watching that one in the theater. Like, goddamn. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of, like you said, memorable movies right there that this had to compete with. I mean, yeah, no wonder it got fucking massacred.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
In January 94, Philadelphia comes out, Schindler's List, like.
Oh, Schindler's List. Yeah, I saw that one in the theater. Oh my God.
I didn't see Schindler's List. I did see Philadelphia, though. I think I took one of my girlfriends to see Philadelphia. Yeah. I was like 14. Jesus. Wasn't much playing at the theater for me. So I was like, hey, let's go see Philadelphia so we can make out. Better than making out during Schindler's List, like in Seinfeld. So Joshy boy is up in his room, and he's playing the early version of Leisure Suit Larry on his computer. the naked the naked computer girls, which looked fucking hilarious. And
yeah, it's like early internet corn.
yeah. It was so wonky. It was funny.
Click on my breast shield.
He's getting off to like robot. Was this like, I don't know, is this before like hentai? I don't know. Is this like robot? I have no, never mind. Never mind. But then Karen Allen comes up and what did she say? There was like $900 or there was like some exorbitant amount of money charged in 900 numbers. And he's like, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, like $700 in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
He's like, I'd have laryngitis.
Yeah. Yeah.
That motherfucker, that much money than porn lines. You're beating your dick like it owes you money. And Jesus Christ. Like, holy shit, bud. He went into a fucking shower with a bar of soap this big, came out, that motherfucker was gone.
Which again, adjusted for inflation, if 7 million is 15 million, 700 is 1,500 in 24 hours. That's a lot of 900 numbers.
Yeah.
How many times did he call the WCW?
Yeah.
He really wanted Mean Gene's info. Oh, call the WCW hotline, Tony. That'll do, Tony. I had to get one in. That'll do, Tony. That'll do.
A slim, thin one.
Give me a long, thin one, Tony. That'll
Yes.
do. All right, so we've established that it was not Josh who was calling the 900 numbers. But Mom still doesn't believe him, let's face it. She's a little bit skeptical because he's like, what, probably 12, 13 years old?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she takes his phone.
She's like, I know where your socks are going, motherfucker.
No. Good Lord, no.
Motherfucker, you got your every goddamn pair of socks is missing one. Wear them fucking fucked up ass mismatched tube socks. So then he gets the message and said only the good die young.
This is why I taught, that is exactly why I taught my kids to do laundry at an early age. I'm not kidding. That's exactly why. I was like, I will be horrified, so they have to do their own laundry.
I'll be horrified. Oh my God. What have I done?
Kidding. I don't want to pick up a crusty sock.
Oh.
I don't know what to do.
It's like, you gotta do my sock laundry? Trina's like,
go fuck yourself.
I ain't washed them goddamn things. Throw them away. What happened to all my socks, Mom?
Evil guys tonight.
Exercise the demons. I got some them elbow length kitchen gloves and threw them shits out. Right. Touched them with the handle of a broom. Put them in a garbage bag.
Just keep buying them new socks.
We don't have any more money in the sock budget. We're over. You gotta slow down. Oh God. Lord Jesus help me. 6 pound 8 ounce tuxedo t-shirt wearing baby Jesus says I'm formal, but I still like to party. Help me. So Mom goes back to the computer store where she bought the scanner program because she's looking for her address book. And how helpful is it that she happens to run into another character who brings up the address book killer?
Well, real quick too, how fucked up is it that she tells the boss, who now realizes a psychopath was working at his store, she's like, hey, I'm missing my address book. And he's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he just no-sells it. Oh.
Yeah, for real. And he's like, anyway, I'm with this other customer, so sorry.
Fuck off! I'm trying to sell something.
Was that how the customer brought it up? Because she mentioned, "Excuse me, I'm missing my address book." You know how it is, and the customer's like, "Really?"
Yeah,
You're-
exactly. Yeah, the other woman customer, she was like, "Oh yeah, I can see why you're worried with what happened. The address book killer actually worked here," and she's like, "What?" Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how she finds out.
And boss is like,
Yeah. Yep.
cut it out. You know. And I thought the guy that was the boss in the computer store at first, when at first glance, before I actually looked at him, I just kind of side-eyed him. I thought it was the guy that played the revolting blob in Billy Madison at first. If you just glance at him, he looks like, I was like, oh shit, it's a revolting. No, it's not. Never mind. It's just a fat guy. just a run-of-the-mill fat guy with curly hair and glasses. Damn it. Thought it was a revolting blob. I was waiting for him to sit on somebody. Alas, he did not. He did not. If you're looking for a fat man to sit on somebody in this movie, you'll be sorely mistaken. I don't know. But yeah, so he's sweating bullets out of his giblets that now Karen Allen knows that and her address book went missing there, so fuck. And then the cops are there. They're like, hey, can you get Carl's locker, blah, 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 blah. And the black cop, he was in Seinfeld. He's been in a bunch of shit. He always plays an ancillary role. And she's like, oh, okay, so his fucking lockers, here. And then we go back to the house, and the kid's just sitting there with a pile of fucking Oreo cookies, and she's all happy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you want some cake or some milk or, I don't know. It's like, Jesus. He's like, God, Mom, I'm trying to be a thug. Knock it off. How can I be from the streets when you're asking me cookies and milk?
And Brim, and then later Brim and Terry are talking, and we find out that he's asking, wait, you're Terry Monroe? Were you arrested in Washington D.C. in like 70 something?
Yep. And
he was like, are you one of the girls that jumped into the reflecting pool naked? And it's like, she's not answering, and he goes, not a Nixon fan, huh? And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I was at the same demonstration. And so I think at the time in the night, I don't know what they were doing there, but anyway, yeah. So Josh, the little kid, is like, wait, you're the Bram Walker? And so we find out like he's this renowned hacker.
Yep.
Because he did this thing with the IRS where he like gave everybody in Rhode Island like a 5-cent refund or something like that, because like his virus in the IRS computers.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like a hero and everything. And so the kid is like, because the kid's kind of like a aspiring hacker as well, because like who wasn't in the 90s when we first got the internet? And but I like what the mom said. So they're going through, because that ATM thing happened where she's trying to get money, and all of her money disappears and everything. Like that's a fear of like, I think everybody's.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, she says, boy, what a trade-off. You develop all these things like the bank machine and like this other thing, and we get big brother watching everything we do. And she says paranoia is underrated. And I actually really loved that line, because I feel like that was so
it's prophetic.
relevant. Yeah, prophetic, exactly, yes. And but he says, he had nothing to do with her, do the bank machine, like he didn't make those and stuff like that. And and then he asked her, have you ever pissed off a nerd or anybody like that would want to target you like this?
Yeah, did you turn down a science geek in high school or something?
Yeah. But yeah. And then
Oh, we go to her boss's house next, and he's getting his microwave dinner. He has 3 fucking microwave dinners. He's getting ready to nuke.
Yeah.
And this just shows you that preservatives will kill you. And this is a gnarly fucking death scene because he gets hit with the fucking microwave glass and shit first, but he's all like bubbling and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. Like, he's just all like, I was like, oh, he's popping like popcorn.
Those were cool effects, like having the banana shit out of its peel, and
that looked that whole thing was awesome. The way that they like you travel, you like they have it. It was like we were like traveling through the wires and through the house and everything. I really liked how they did that, and like going in between the walls and stuff, and that looked great because it went from the computer into the this is kind of like the part where I don't think they really, or maybe they just didn't count on like us knowing how internet works, or I don't know, but it kind of,
and we didn't,
Yeah, that's true. Back then we didn't know that there was separate things, but how we travel through the Ethernet cable from in back of the computer and jumps into the electrical wires through the house, and like we're traveling through everything, and we end up into the kitchen and jumps into like on the microwave wiring, and how like he Carl in the machine messes with the programming on the microwave to make the thing burn, and then it ends up like exploding and stuff. I love the way how they filmed all that. It looked really cool.
That's really creative camera work.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how he changes like the displays, like some of the shit will say like die and stuff like that on it.
Yep.
Like the little dinner catches on fire, and these fucking just melts the outlet too. Like I'm like, Jesus. And then boss man just goes meandering out in the kitchen, and kaboom, he just eats it. Literally.
Yeah, he suffers from like the radiation from the microwave and everything, and it was just really cool. And we see like we see his like hands, his face is getting all lumpy, bananas are oozing, popcorn is popping, and the grapes on the counter start turning into raisins.
That was fucking fantastic.
He tries to get out of there too. You'd be thinking like, why don't you get out of the fucking room? And he tries, and he slipped on whatever. I don't think it was his blood at the time, but he slipped on something and cracked his skull on the table.
Yes. The butter explodes and he slips on it, and
they bust his head on the table, and he didn't tuck his chin and smoked the back of his melon on the fucking floor, and then his blood was all oozing on the floor, which was pretty cool. That was fucking cool. It was like a straw with chocolate milk.
And then I love how the address book pops up on the computer and his name gets crossed off the address book.
He does that. What's his name? Carl. He does that with every kill too. Like you'll see him cross it out a different way.
Yeah, I love that. And so that night, Terry, the mom, Terry Monroe, she has a dream. The dream is funny. It's Frank's funeral, and as the priest goes to press a button for the coffin to go into the incinerator in the back, and then the coffin starts to get cremated. But then, since Carl's in the machine, he forces it back out, and then the coffin opens, and can't remember the boss's name, but his body pops up and it's like right in front of her face, and he's like, the body is like only half cremated. And
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I like that. That was good effects. And yeah, so that wakes her up. That's obviously a nightmare. Yeah, and then she visits she takes a trip to Carl's apartment and finds out how creepy he was. He's got like these animals in jars and stuff, and yeah, just very creepy.
Yeah.
And just like the landlady's talking about how, you know, he doesn't respect life and all this stuff, and the basic stuff that you would expect to hear about him. Okay, yeah, so later that night, Josh's mom is like she's kind of like getting ready for bed, and he's like telling her, no, you need to go out, and he's like criticizing her wardrobe and stuff, and he's like, you know, you gotta wear something, basically telling her to like dress up and meet someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this kind of plays on her emotions because that's basically what her mom was telling her earlier. And so she ends up, you know, she goes, and it was a ploy because Josh meets his friend FaZe at the mall later.
That was the same kid that was in The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, really?
Yep. The lady that played the landlord too, Nancy Fish, she has been in so much stuff. Again, always a character, like she was the landlord. I remember her, just seeing her in random things throughout the years. Never knew her name until I looked up her in the credits, just because I was like, as soon as I heard her voice, I knew who it was.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, Karen Allen, which she's going out. Yeah, he goes to the mall. And then you see dude traveling through the telephone lines.
Yep.
Like tracking the calls going in through the fucking the power outlets and stuff like that, which that comes into play. We see how they stop him from doing that later on, which is actually kind of cool. How they block him. But yeah, he leaves it. Doesn't he leave a mess? He's leaving a message on the fucking answering machine. Oh my God, this is the same. He fucks with the dog. I can't because he fucks with the dog in this.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah. All right, so Carl in the machine, he pulls up the Monroe residence floor plan or all of that stuff. And so he goes so he's in like the electrical stuff. And then okay, so this is weird. So he starts tripping the breakers in each room. And so outside the house, you can see the lights in different rooms going on and off. And then the dog Axel is home alone, and the TV comes on, and it shows a show about like dogs, how dogs naturally know how to swim and all that stuff. And we see on the VHS, on the TV, that a dog is getting out of the water. And okay, was it just me, or did it look like the dog started to like
hump the table?
Yes,
it did.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then as he's doing that, the tape flies out of the VCR and hits him.
I was like, hey, not the doggy.
Yeah, I know. And I'm thinking, no, you can't do that. You can't hurt animals. You can't do that.
People are fine.
Yep.
We're fine with you slaughtering people. We don't give a fuck. But animals is where we draw the damn line. That's it.
Yeah. Animals are off limits. But yeah, they hit the tape hits the dog, so the dog runs out, and he kind of like it stops at the pool. And then it cuts from that, and we just see the mom at the barn. She's having a miserable time. This dude is trying to like light his cigarette, and he can't. She's not having fun.
No.
But Josh is at the arcade, and he's signing some kind of like waiver for the virtual reality game that he's about to play. So he's gonna have some fun for a little bit.
Yep,
him
and his buddy are playing that, and it reminds me of this is very Tron-esque. I wanted to say like partially RoboCop too, but it's more advanced than, or it's less advanced than RoboCop, like the target.
Yeah.
This is very Tron. And Carl starts showing up inside the game. And he like fucking throws Josh out of the area where you're like harnessed in, because it like controls your movement so you don't fall or bump into anything and get hurt, because you're like walking around while you're playing this. And it obviously it's virtual reality, so it tracks your movements. So his buddy's got like a lock on him, but then like Carl just shows up, and it freaks him the hell out. And he's like, there's like a big scene because they're like, what the hell? Because like Josh goes to like hunt him down inside the game. And that's when he like runs into him because he sees him like waiting on top of a fucking like a platform. And that's when he throws him off. I
gotta say, I really loved this because they even had the virtual reality goggles like down pat, the way that they look just like the what are they called? Oculus?
Yes.
Yeah, they look just like that. And this is in 93. So, like, this many years later, like, they had that down. And knowing that you have to do this kind of, like, in a contained area because... Yeah, like, that was really well done. That was so advanced. And, but yeah, I really liked that. And Carl's in the computer, and he's figured out like where, you already said that he does throw Josh out of his like protective like ring thing. So yeah, he ends up he gets home, and he's like he's looking for Axel. And he decides to go out to the pool, and the pool is covered. And he's like, what the heck? Why is it covered? So, man. And so he presses the switch to like roll back the cover, and it gets stuck. And he's like, oh, of course. So this must happen often. And so he goes to jump. He jumps in, goes to like push the cover thing. And it's not working. So I think he goes under it, and then he starts. Yeah, there's like some ropes or something like that. What was that?
Cleaner.
What was that?
It's the pool cleaner.
Okay, all right. I didn't know what the heck that was, but that makes sense. So then
Axel comes floating at him.
Yes. Yeah, he turns around. He's like, he's fighting with the pool cleaner hose thing. And then he turns around, and Axel's there, and he starts to like, he gets started, and he's underwater, so he starts to like swim out, but the cover starts like closing, and so he's got to he's got to swim, he's got to beat the cover, and he makes it out just in time.
Yep. Yeah. And it's trying to wrap it. It's like wrapping him up like an octopus.
Yeah, it's grabbing onto him and everything. Yeah, that was a good scene. That was a good scene.
Yeah, there was tension there.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did, and it's So Josh almost bit it here, so he's freaked out about it. And the guy that Karen Allen went out with, he'll come back into play later because she had his phone number and she'd called him, and so the number is correlated to her at this point. And this is just more proof that nothing good happens in Cleveland, Ohio, because that's where this takes place, is Cleveland. Which, oddly, years after Howard the Duck landed there, this happened. Cleveland is cursed, I'm telling you.
I've never been there, but I believe you.
I've only been there once, briefly.
And then the next...
Oh, she goes to visit Bram.
Or
what was his name?
Oh, the next is that when I can't remember.
It was after she was talking to Josh. Then she goes to the hotel to visit Dollar Store Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. Oh my
That's who
God.
he looks like. He looks like it's like, can we have Patrick Swayze? It's like we have Patrick Swayze at home. It's this guy. You're like, God damn it.
Yes, you're right. Oh my God.
He can't sing She's Like the Wind.
Oh my God. That's so true. It is so true. Well, the next name to get crossed off, the next name to get crossed off the list. Now, isn't it so his name is Elliot.
That's the guy that she went out with.
Okay. All right. I was wondering because I couldn't understand like where he came in, but so he works at this like this crash test place like where they
Yeah.
Yep.
And
that was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was great. The way that he gets like stuck in the front seat. He's like laying across the driver and passenger in the front, and then the car is like way up in speed and slams into the wall and just crinkles the front. I didn't expect him to survive. Like they could have made that very gruesome.
Yeah.
But he survives that only to end up in the bathroom washing his hands and the dryer is what takes him out.
Yeah.
If only he wouldn't have washed his hands.
Yeah. Well, they kept teasing it. Like he kept standing in the crash test area and it kept getting ready to smack him and run him over.
Yeah.
But he kept stepping out of the way. So then he halfway gets in the car to fix something and it just goes and it smacks into the wall. So he jumps out, he fires everyone there, and then he goes into the bathroom, to like wash his hands and throw cold water on his face because he almost fucking died.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was amazing. He just hits the fucking dryer button, the electric dryer, and that flame shoots out. And that's what you get for having the airflow go upward.
Right?
It's supposed to go down.
Yep.
Well, it just would have burned his dick off.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he wouldn't have been able to ruin any more socks. Oh!
Oh no, not the socks.
Oh, it all goes back to Elliot's girl. I don't know. But he gets torched by a fucking dryer. I mean, that's what he gets for being an asshole on his date, though. You know, if anybody's gonna be a fucking asshole and murder Karen Allen, it's Carl. God damn it! So there's no room for this guy. Yep. So he's toast. Bye bye, Elliot. That's all that product he probably had in his hair didn't help either. It's got to keep them curls like that. So, but she gets the phone. Oh, this is where the phone calls start coming in.
Mm-hmm.
This is where she starts getting all the fucking, and it's like, doesn't the last one, because she said, what the fuck did she say? She says something, and it's like, thank you. Like one of the robocalls.
Yeah.
Because I think it just wanted her voice or something. I don't know.
She's getting robo-called from this insurance place, and she ends up saying like, you've reached the consumer affairs department and we're gonna investigate, for into this harassment and stuff like that, and then we hear Carl's voice saying Terry and some unsavory things. Do you want me to say what he says?
That's fine.
Yes, you do?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. He says, Terry, I want to lick the tears from your face. I want to taste your blood. I stole your address book, Terry. I'm killing your friends. I'm going to save her killing you. So, yeah.
Foreplay is not his strong suit.
No.
He's like, no, this is what we're doing. Look. Oh, so next we go over to the babysitter. She's got the two boys, and the mom leaves, and there's actually a baby there. The little black kid, he has a baby sister. Now, I was like, how big are this movie's balls? Are they going to kill this fucking kid? Like,
I know.
First of all, how did the little badass get out of that fucking playpen? Because that fucking kid couldn't even walk.
I know.
So how? Oh, she took it out. The baby took the motherfucker out. That's right.
Yeah.
On the floor. But
yeah.
I love how the kid, Josh, when he goes over to the fucking black kid's house, he's dressed like one of the fucking Run DMC.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks like one of the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where the babysitter fucking, she turns her back. She's on the phone with her boyfriend. Oh, and what do they say? They're going to fucking get, they're going to lower her car insurance and get rid of her speeding tickets if she shows them her tits.
Yeah. And what did they offer? Like $13 or something like that?
It's like $30 some, I think.
Oh, 30? Okay.
I thought it was like $30 or something. They give her $30 and they're going to take away a speeding ticket.
I thought it was 13.
Was it? It might have been.
I don't know.
I don't know, but they both ponied up, and yeah, she was they wrote Carl called the house too. He had called the house while she was on the phone, and yeah, this was that scene was fucking hilarious. I'm like, it was very PG. It was a very PG scene. But this is also where the baby makes her fucking escape and goes into the kitchen, and you see shit start to go awry with the appliances in the kitchen. But there's something that's like milk or whatever boiling on the stove, and you're like, they cut away and you hear the baby scream. You're like, oh fuck! Like they actually did it, but it wasn't the last. It just boiled over, and the baby screamed because of that. But where she was positioned, because she was right by the fucking stove, you're like, is this baby, like, really, like, they make you think that this baby's gonna fucking get blown up by the oven because you see shit start to power up. And yeah, they did not though. But
because it pans through the kitchen, you see like knives on the counter and different appliances, and she's like reaching up and she's almost touching the burner on the stove, which is hot. And she could have gotten really hurt because the girl Carol, she's just on her phone, and it's like she's absolutely oblivious to what's going on. So the baby's just doing her own thing in the kitchen, and that was, I feel like that was a cautionary, like it was kind of like a watch your babies kind of message. Yeah.
Well, now, like when I get out of my truck, it always says, every new vehicle, it says with the screen, it says check your back seat.
Oh wow!
Because fucking retarded parents leave their kids in the back seat and forget and go in the stores. And the kid, come on, the kid's been well done. Like,
oh, well, yeah. I'm proud to say that before that, I never forgot my kids in the car.
Right? Like, I'm like, I won't leave a Slurpee in the car.
I don't get it. I really don't.
Like, let alone, I don't forget, like, my water bottle is with me wherever I go. Like, and I never forget this fucker in there. It's like always attached to I got my car keys, my phone, and like my water bottle's like hanging off my fingers. It's got like the little fucking hanger on it, so it's always like carrying it by
like a white girl with her Stanley cup.
I don't have a Stanley cup. It's just a generic one I bought at Walmart. Thank you very much. You calling me a basic white bitch? So Josh gets ready to shove his hand down the fucking garbage disposal.
Oh yeah.
And this is a good fake out too, because they're like, they kind of foreshadow that he's gonna get fucked up. Because his boy's like, oh, don't, and then he fucks with him because they pan over to like the outlet, and it's like that, like I love how they did the camera. They're like they're like zooming in on it, but the camera's like slowly like turning.
Yeah, that was good.
It was creative cinematography.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. So he faked him out, and then because they had to clean up because what's the babysitter's name? Carol.
The babysitter, yeah, Carol.
Carol, and later she survived this, and she would go on to be Carol in The Walking Dead. No, no, but here's they're giving her money. They give her the money. This is where the flashing comes in, and their reaction to it. It's like you're playing virtual porn on your computer. I guess it's he's crushing on her. He's trying to riz her again, as the kids say. And he is not. He hasn't been mewing enough. He has not yet achieved the level of Giga Chad. I don't know. This fucking brain rot's killing me. I can't. Too old for that shit. Too old for that shit. So she goes into the kitchen after that, and she's dancing and watching in living color, and she doesn't notice that the dishwasher has sprung a leak, as it were, much like a screen door in a submarine, and doesn't realize there's water all over the floor. And then I can't remember what it was, like somewhat powered up when because it was like, wasn't it the cord for the microwave or something like that? Because like there was a cord on the floor.
Yeah.
I just want to say I completely misremembered this part, and it took me by shock because, I mean, I guess I'm going to shit on your point now. You haven't gotten to it, but I don't remember this ending badly for her. I thought in my head she escaped. Maybe it was the hope that I could pay her to see something, but I don't remember her, getting floyded in this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have been fine if she only had worn shoes. I don't know. I don't think that would have helped. Even the rubber.
Or if she just paid attention to what her environment and like a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. The dishwasher says agitate, then explode.
Yeah. And then, didn't it also say die?
It said die at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Her death scene was very easy too, because all she had to do was lay down and flop like an epileptic marlin, not getting plowed in the pool like Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls. And she really did, like, there was no makeup effects for her death. It was only fucking the electrical effects, because she just basically got electrocuted. She didn't even explode or anything.
Yeah.
Like no burns. They didn't disfigure her. She got lucky. That was a cheap death, honestly. You think about shooting that one? What did I do? We had to put some water in the floor and put in the electrical shocks in After Effects.
Yep.
I mean, that's really all that death scene was. And then adding the music in for dramatic effect and the sound effects. That's it. I mean, I just named like 5 things, but all things considered, when it comes to like doing makeup, practical, because you would have wanted to do, you would have wanted to do a practical, like with what was the guy's name? The boss that got the radiation, the bubbles. That was all practical. Mm-hmm. I wonder with the grapes turning into raisins, and this is such a ridiculously minute thing to think about, if they're basically using the same effect they use in Hellraiser, just reverse,
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, stupid little things like that when you're high just pop into your mind. I don't know.
Do you think that they had a bowl of grapes and they like took a picture of them every day until they turned into raisins?
That would be funny if somebody actually had that was their job.
That would be cool.
What do you do? I have to take a picture of things one day apart while they rot. Is that it? Yep. How many things do you have to take pictures of? Just one. You punch in, take your picture. Okay, I'm done. Punch out.
It wouldn't work though, because like they'd actually rot. They wouldn't just turn into raisins.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
It's a nice thought.
I think the budget went to the practical effects with her boss.
Yep.
And the very end.
Oh, definitely.
Like that was the whole budget right there.
Yep. the scenes with Carl when he manifested.
Yeah.
But they went to the police, and the police are
Mhm.
like, "You're fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here, lady."
Just always, every time in movies,
Mhm.
cops never believe the story.
That's why in Malignant, I laughed when the fucking retarded twin that grew on the back of the bitch's brain just murdered everybody.
That was a good movie.
I fucking hated that movie. Oh my God.
You didn't like it?
I
Really?
hated I reviewed it. I just eviscerated it. I hated it so much.
Oh
hated it.
man.
I hated it.
I actually did like I liked it.
I was like, if her boyfriend wasn't an abusive piece of shit and didn't bounce her head off the damn wall, none of this shit would have happened. Fucking glad she killed his ass first. If they would have went to couples therapy, he would have saved me the whole damn movie.
Yeah.
All he had to do was fix himself. He couldn't do it. He wasn't strong enough. So Jacob killed him. Anyway, back to Ghost in the Machine, which is much more enjoyable than Malignant. So let's see.
This is where they figure out that the people that she knows are getting murdered. I think it was Josh that figured out that they're getting murdered in order of the address book.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's when Discount Patrick Swayze is at didn't he break into DataNet?
He's he put a trace on the phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And and they went to Terry and Josh's house, and she unplugged everything, and the grandma is there, and then Bram goes back to DataNet.
Yep.
And
things start fucking with him there. Carl starts fucking with him.
Yep. And Terry's Terry leaves. She leaves Josh with the grandmother, and she's headed to Bram, and she gets I think she gets a phone call, and Bram starts tracking it.
Yep.
And so he hones in on it, and then we see, as like he's doing that, the camera in his office where he is, it starts moving, and it focuses in on him.
Yeah, all the monitors flip to him.
Yep. And then you see, like, behind him is him on the screen. It, like, that was cool. And he doesn't, that's behind him, so he doesn't realize that that's going on. And all of a sudden, all the phones start ringing. And
that would be annoying as hell.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That would be like murder on your ears. So it starts fucking with the traffic lights when she's driving there.
Yes.
And
yep.
You see this, like, it's like a father and son driving in like an S10, and she's in her Volvo. It's, what is that? Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. In a goddamn Volvo with no air conditioning. And they intersect and they fucking spin out, and she almost gets got because she went to answer the phone when she was driving. No phones while you're driving.
That's right.
The fucking tweeting shit when I'm on. I mean, I don't do that at all. I never do that. I do voice messages when I'm driving. I'm responsible. I got nothing. So they almost wrecked the GMC. Oh, it is an S10 extended cab. Always wanted one of those. Put the Lear top on, put the speakers in the back of it. But they almost get into an accident.
Yeah.
But luckily, they both have Geico. 15 minutes will save you 15% on car insurance. Or you could call Doug the Limu Emu. What is that, nationwide? I don't know. Anyway, so we're back to Bram at it when it crosses out the babysitter's name, it puts like a little heart over it because it shows.
Oh, yes.
It put a little heart over it.
Yep.
When it killed Carol. And this is the part where it goes to Grandma's house and it tries to get in through all the outlets and they all have tape over them. So he can't, which is fucked up. That's what stops him, you know, at this point is fucking tape over the outlet covers because they're just going by like candlelight, like there's no electricity on in the house. But what he does is he calls fucking what does he do? He calls 911.
Yes.
And reports like all these different fucking crimes.
Yeah, this was good because this is when cops started getting the electronics in their cars.
Yep.
In their patrol cars. So like they kept seeing the same address, 1227 Lakeview Drive, and it was like domestic violence, like a bunch of different calls to the same
situation.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. A bunch of different
Officer
things.
Down.
Oh, was it that too?
Officer Down was the first one.
Okay. Yeah. And so the whole department ends up going there and oh man, this scene bugged me so bad. So yeah, all the cops go to this house like they're like outside, they're in the street and like it's the whole department and they just one of the cops, I think it was like the chief or whatever or whoever, he goes, well, this isn't like this is a whole new ball game since LA, no more sitting ducks anymore. And so they just start shooting at the house.
One of the transformers blew, and then they just started shooting.
Yes,
they shot Grandma.
No.
I think she was just in shock, but I thought she got shot at first too.
Yeah, I thought she got shot too. I was like, God damn, they shot Grandma Pac.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then we see her in the hospital, and she's just in shock. But yeah, oh my God, that whole thing just annoyed the shit out of me.
Right.
But
they just started shooting. They're like, fuck it.
Just start shooting the house. Like, what are you doing?
Was it let the shoe sting begin? Ha! Fucking gold member.
Officer Downs.
Draven has entered the chat.
Oh man.
Somewhere Draven just heard his name with his bat sonar and he's like, God damn it.
But yeah, we see Grandma in the hospital and they're like, yo, you're okay, you're just in shock, they're gonna keep you overnight. And I was thinking that because they were keeping her in the hospital that Carl and the machine was going to be targeting her in the hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was waiting for her to get roasted too. Grandma survived though.
Yeah. Yep. And then Brim ends up explaining like how it all happened, like how the surge, shot what's his name, Carl's soul, straight into the computers and like right to DataNet and everything.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love how they devised their plan to stop him. We're gonna go into the Spider-Verse and they're gonna use a particle accelerator. Oh
yeah.
Because Ohio Tech just has a particle accelerator just fucking laying around.
Yep. I know. I was kind of like,
90s
really?
were fucking crazy.
Yep. It was a crazy time, man. Like, hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar and use your particle accelerator? Yeah, come on over, man. Just fucking use the particle accelerator. That's fine. Go ahead. Accelerate your particles, man. Go ahead. It's fine.
I loved the conversation though, like when they were trying to figure out, like, okay, so how do we defeat it? And the mom is like, mentions how, well, he's in the computer. Why can't you just delete him? And Josh explains how, well, Mom, nothing is ever deleted in the computer. And it's like, oh man, like there are still some people to this day that don't understand that.
Yeah.
and he's like, no, it's not really gone. You just can't find it. And then the mom is like, fridge magnets. You said that, don't keep magnets near your computer stuff or you'll wipe it clean. And he's like, well, Mom, a fridge magnet is going to wipe out a whole, it's the whole thing. And Brim is like, well, actually, she's right. We just need a slightly bigger magnet. And that's when they come up with the plan at Ohio Tech to use the particle accelerator.
Yep.
I loved that conversation though, because that really reminded me of Breaking Bad with the magnets, and you know what I mean.
And they need to wipe Gus's laptop.
Yeah, and I just
tip the whole U-Haul truck.
Yes, I love that. It was great.
I've never seen Breaking Bad, so.
Oh, you're missing out for real. You will love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great conversation because talking about how things aren't really deleted from the computer and then from the internet in general, and I really appreciated that.
It's fucking wicked when Carl comes out of the fucking air the first time and he's like flying around him and shit.
Yeah.
That was fucking like, here's it like hits Josh in the face. It's like you see him with the tennis ball and a stick doing that. I thought Kevin Spacey was on set. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. There's no proof that Kevin Spacey touched that kid.
The killer was like a computer guy too, though. So like, you would think he'd be like, fuck you, I'm not going to Ohio State. I can wait you out. I don't have to shit anymore. Like,
I know. They don't really go into too much detail. I just take it as like since the Bram introduced that virus, he had no other option than to follow that pathway. I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't think about the virus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to mention about the virus because, like, we see how Carl in the machine is trying to like go different ways, and the virus keeps blocking him. Mm-hmm. Like we see those visuals, which I thought was interesting the way they did that as well.
I'm gonna steal that footage and use that as background for something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use it as cool. I'm gonna use it as a loop.
Yeah.
But so they're in DataNet and they're trying to Ohio Tech. I'm sorry, because Carl infiltrated the particle accelerator. I love how Bram tried to shoot him with a fucking 38. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna quite do it or not, bud. Like,
I know.
He's not really, but him manifesting himself was really cool.
Yeah,
like that looked fucking great for 1993. A lower but I can't even say a lower budget movie because it had a big budget it was a lower tier movie though, but it had a high budget. But this is where the effects budget went, and of course they're all separated again because Bram has to go plug the computer in somewhere else, and this is where he like manifests behind Karen Allen, and he like starts talking shit to her. How he's gonna kill her, and doesn't she shoot him here?
Is this where she shoots him?
No, first she tried to slap him, and his fucking face went out, and it came right back. Which was
I loved that.
What did the five fingers say to the face? Smack! Ha! Gotcha.
That looked good. She shoot. I can't remember exactly where she shoots him, but and then she takes like a few shots, and then she's like down to her like last bullet, and he's like, I wouldn't waste that last bullet. And then we see from like behind the gun, she moves it towards the glass that's like behind the computer panel.
Yep.
And she shoots that, and we hear like the air like whistle. You can hear like you can tell like the air is getting sucked through the hole, Like
Yep.
there's a vacuum.
Vacuum.
Yeah. And yeah, and then the gun ends up like on the floor. Bram is like downstairs, like he's trying to like get the thing working, and he had to go like downstairs for power, and like there's some kind of like, I think it's Josh and the mom, like they're struggling with Carl, like he is kind of strangling them or something like that.
Yeah, he's got them both by the throat.
Yeah. And the gun is on the floor, and then so Carl, I'm sorry, Bram gets the thing like up and running, and then because it's magnetized, the gun is kind of like moving, and then it flies towards the glass where that hole is, and it makes a bigger hole, and that sucks Carl through it. That looked awesome.
Yeah, because you see him like being just eviscerated down to the atomic level.
Which in 1993, I mean, that was some serious CGI. You know, it may not look like if we saw that quality in a Marvel movie today, we'd complain. But for back then, like I don't know if you guys saw The Langoliers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that didn't age well, but for that time, the effects at least, you know, but for that time, it was kind of like, damn. Like, especially for a made-for-TV movie. But this, I mean, it looked even better than The Langoliers. Like, in a lot of ways, it's more animated, but it really held up. It's not, like, choppy or anything, like, weird frame rate issues or anything with the movement. Like, that it looked great when he got sucked through the vacuum like that, through the hole in the glass.
Yeah, I agree. It looked awesome. Yeah, he turns into like this the string of particles and enters the particle accelerator thing. It really looked awesome.
Yeah, they did, like I said, they did an excellent job with the cinematography and the effects on this. Yeah, we knew where the budget went. And yeah, the movie basically ends, wasn't it, with was it Bram hooked up to the machine, the hospital? He's like, do me a favor, turn that damn machine off.
Yeah.
And that's
what they should have done for the grandma.
Oh my god.
But that was Ghost in the Machine. Yeah. And I like it because there was no sequels. There's no fucking Ghost in the Machine verse. It was just, it's a standalone movie. It's fine and it's fun, and yeah, it was an enjoyable movie. Yeah, I agree. It's it was an awesome 1993 movie. Yeah, there's really I didn't really have any complaints with this. No, it's that time we can go ahead and unless you have anything else you want to say about it.
Just from me, thank you both for doing this, because again, like, I probably watched this movie like 30 times as a kid, but I haven't seen it since the 90s, probably since like 96 or something. So it was really fun going back and revisiting it. Yeah, same. Yeah, I haven't seen it since it came out, so yeah, it was awesome watching it again. And yeah, I agree. I'm glad you suggested it, because I probably wouldn't have revisited it. There's not a lot of 90s movies that well, I shouldn't say that. There's not a lot of 90s like horror and sci-fi that I go back to. So yeah, I'm glad you suggested it, Tony. It was, sweet.
Yeah, fun to watch it again.
Yeah, this one was good. I was happy with the cast, the effects. I don't think I've seen Langoliers, or if I have, it's been decades. So that'll be one I'll have to rewatch. But no, I really think this movie hit all the beats. It had a little bit of camp in it with the early 90s hip hop stuff. But outside of that, it was a good thriller, a good science fiction thriller. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Let's go ahead, Trina. You want to score this one first?
Okay, so I think I'll give it I'll do 3.5.
3.5. 3.5 out of 5. All right, Tony.
I mean, probably about the same. You know, again, it's not like a cinematic masterpiece, but just for what it is, you know, it works.
Yeah.
Like, again, like we were talking about it earlier, it's kind of sad it isn't a cult classic because, you know, it's a fun time.
It is, and it's this is one of those like gateway type horror thrillers, you know, science fiction, because it's a safe movie to watch with your kids. Really, there's no nudity. The violence in it is fairly tame as far as the kills go. You know, they're cool, a couple of them, but they're not over the top gore, you know. So
the microwave was like the most graphic. If anything, just the skin boiling over and bubbling, and you know.
Yeah.
I will give this one out of 5. I'm gonna go with a solid 3. I'm gonna give it a 3. It was, like I said, it's fine and fun, and it's a movie that you can sit around and watch with a group or by yourself and still just enjoy it, you know. Solid movie. Tony, great recommendation, bro. I was glad to have you on tonight for the first time, man.
Yeah, dude, thank you, and thank you both for having me on. And yeah, I'm glad I got to talk about it with you guys again. It's like, you know, we were talking a couple weeks ago about like Cocoon and Batteries Not Included, and granted, those are more 80s movies. They're still movie, you know, Alien Nation. It's stuff that's kind of gone forgotten. So same with this movie. It may not be on the same level, but for me, it was like a little treasure in a moment in time, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Next week, J-Man will be rejoining us, and we are watching the Mario Bava Giallo flick, Black Lace. It's
right.
second ever Giallo and first to be in color. So, and I've never seen a Mario Bava movie. As we're going through the Giallo ones, I want to watch Bay of Blood by Mario Bava because that was a huge influence on Sean Cunningham for Friday the 13th. So that's one that I really want to watch eventually. But yeah, so we've got Black Lace next week. I'm looking forward to it. I love these movies, the Italian horror ones. Yeah, the Dario Argento, the two we watched, the Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and Tenebrae were fantastic. So some Mario Bava introduced into the mix, always a good thing. So as far as the rest of the week here on the channel goes, gang, tomorrow's Ash Wednesday. So I got 2 videos out so far this week for you guys. The Malibu Express review's up. Go check that out. Also, if you want to hear what happened on Raw last night, the Raw review's up. That's about an hour stream you can check out. We review Raw every Monday night. Welcome to all the new channel members. Thank you. And yeah, don't think we're live streaming this weekend because, well, Saturday night I'll be wrestling out in West Branch at Dragon's Den Productions, Super Shogun Wrestling. I'm in an 8-man tag match. So I got camp tomorrow night. Patreon upload for the week will be Victor Crowley from 2017. The entire Hatchet franchise is up there now. There's let's see what else is up there. the unedited Malibu Express review. You guys want the version of the review with all the tits? It's up there on Patreon. That's the only place I can put that one. The censored version is on YouTube, though. So yeah, that's it, gang. Thank you, Trina. What do you got going on the rest of the week?
All right, tomorrow, Vinny and I will be reviewing Hannibal season 2, episodes 8 and 9. That's it's on my channel tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then Thursday we have the Toy Stream Collectible Past on Tommy and Vinny's channel, and that's it, I think. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I think that's it.
All right. I've told you where you can find me, and our links. Everybody's links are in the description to the video. Go subscribe to Super Shogun Wrestling's YouTube channel as well. That's where you can find me now. And remember, March 27th, Thursday night, we'll be broadcasting Midget Mania live streaming it right here on the channel. I'll be on location at Dragon's Den, sitting at the commentary table, and we're going to use StreamYard, and we're going to broadcast the thing live with the roving cam attached to StreamYard. So yeah, Midget Mania, I'll be doing commentary all night on that. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. So remember, be here 7 p.m. on the 27th. It's a Thursday. So yeah, out at Dragon's Den. It's going to be a good time. You can see the little 5-point of articulation action figures beat the holy hell out of each other. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to Trina and Tony for a great stream. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I am Pete Daddy Dollar from Wrestling with Horror. If we don't see you, have a great day. Pleasant tomorrow. We'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.